Hey traders, morning. It's trend follower this side. And today our plan is to do back testing. Some of the good trades that happened last week. It's good to learn from them. So yeah, let's start our back testing session today. One thing I mentioned in one of the previous videos were like last week was CHF news, red folder news. So most of the focus was in CHF, and I mentioned that in the video. But I also thought, like, after seeing the week go by, that some things could be better. But let's start with the good stuff. So, one trade I mentioned was GBP CHF, that this zone is a valid supply and we can reject from here. I grabbed my 2 hour, a short is coming on that. But what is important to note is why was it good zone? So, first, let's look at the weekly, right? So, let's zoom out. Clear downtrend. So, you can see this huge down move here, then we are just chopping here. So it can maybe go this way. But point being, we are in downtrend, right? So what happens when we are in downtrend? These supplies will act stronger because we are in downtrend. So this was the trade I took where I focused on this zone. And look what happened. As soon as we touch this zone, look at this rejection. Look at this sharp rejection. So what I could have done is, so I grabbed this move from here to here. But what I could have done, got my 2 RR, was happy, was just focus on the good stuff, right? You can see everything is aligned here, so maybe get a re-entry or something. What could have been a re-entry for me was enter in this area, like here, and stop loss somewhere above, and you got this move, right? So I think this was pretty good. GBP CHF, great trade. Got 2 RR, happy with it. On to the next one. But question is, how could we have improved this? So GBP CHF, yeah, sure. But if you are really thinking that GBP CHF should go down strongly, that means you're saying CHF pair should go up. Then the question is, what's the pair? What's the currency which has been acting the weakest? And there are two currencies which have been acting weakest, and it's NZD and odd. So look at this NZD CHF move, huge. So what really was the setup here was for me, there was this bearish engulfing order block area, right? Uh, we have been chopping all this while here. So I wouldn't have predicted this whole move, but I could have said, okay, if it gets here, it should come somewhere here. Will it bounce? Will it go down? I don't know. But that would have been a great move. Why? Because you are saying CHF will act strong. So which is the weakest pair? Odd NZD. So if CHF will act strong, that then odd NZD, like those two currencies, like odd CHF and NZD CHF, should really go down. So that was the logic here. In terms of supply or point of interest, this was clearly a great point of interest, right? Now, in this, there are two zones that matter, this weak one and this here. So stop loss should be above here somewhere. But if you dive in, look at the beauty of this supply. Look at this. So this supply, it was going down and down, like immediate rejection, right? So this was a good area. I missed it. I didn't see this beforehand, but I always try to learn from the trades in the previous week. Now, what is also interesting is a few things. Are we in a downtrend? So let's go to weekly. Here is the weekly. Clear down move. So we are clearly in a downtrend. So trend is in your favor. Then supply, clear supply is in your favor. Quality of supply, as I showed, look at this, is great. So I would say I would say all the things that are important are working in your favor, right? So my point being, this could have been a great 3 hour, 2 hour trade, 3 hour, 4 hour trade, depending on your, stop loss. But what my biggest point is, you have to learn from the previous week. So I grabbed my money from GBP. What I would have liked was grabbing from here. And the reason being, when most of your trade are 3 hour, let's say, right, then you have the confidence to wait till 3 hour. For me, I target 2 hour because I feel like small wins are better. But as I said, you still have to not stop learning. So this would be NZD. The next pair, which was very interesting, was odd NZD. I think we had NZD news last to last week and odd news last week, I guess. But point being, what was the setup here for me? So what I was thinking was after this huge down move, maybe we bounce till here, we grab liquidity from here, we bounced it from here, and then we go down. But or the problem with that expectation is, if we don't, then what, right? So generally what happens is, if you do something like that, that's a great trade. But the second one is, if you're chopping a lot here, then this is the pattern you should look for. So what really happened here was, I was alerted with this 12-hour supply, which is perfect, right? So in this 12-hour supply, again, first is trend. So trend is clearly down, right? So in this 12-hour supply, what was happening was, look at this, it went down. Okay. Did it stay down? So it went down here, came here, then went again down. So you broke this level, and then came down. So the probability of coming back here and going down is higher. Did I know it will come here? No, but you could have honestly targeted something like this, right? And that would have been your 2 RR. So let's take this one, right? So this is your supply here, your stop loss here, and your target here. So that gives you 2 RR. And this is a great stop loss. I would rather do something like this and reduce my target to 2 RR or 2.5 RR. That's it. But this was another trade which I really liked. Uh, and again, the reason all this really works is supply and demand is cool. It gives you good zones and everything. But their importance depends on higher time frames, trend. And look at this down move. So now, so the point being, if you're chopping around here a lot, that means what can happen? Either it will go here, then go down, or here, then go down. But the probability of this is very low because you're not making any strong candle as such. The only one strong candle was this, which you can consider bullish engulfing. But I always believe one candle doesn't, you know, do a lot of justice. You have to wait for two, three candles. Instead, what you could have seen is this is bearish engulfing. So if it went above this and held, then you can think about, oh, it can go here. Then you can, let's say it held here, so you could have played something like this maybe. But ideally, you have to just stay with the trend. So that's why this move was great. So this was a great trade from last week. So the other trade that I really liked was NZD CAD. With respect to NZD CAD, what really happened was, look at this daily candle, right? Like clear down move. So there can be a rejection when you come in this zone, which it came on Friday, I think. But more importantly, and this is a practice I do, is don't just stick with one time frame. See the whole picture in different time frames, and some time frames gives you a clear picture. So if you go to 12 hour, you have this supply again here, right? So now it will show a better picture. So you have this supply, and you know what happened? Look at that, touch and down. So this was like for scalping. What you could have done is something like this, and you got your 2 RR. But again, what matters is the trend. What matters uh, is the supply quality. And according to my data, this was a good supply quality, right? So look at this going down, got rejected from this supply, so the source is legit. And then we formed a supply again. I do believe there should be some kind of pullback because now you are testing this daily supply. I would not be surprised that we come back here somewhere. But that's where I'm not thinking too much into it because we have a bounce, so it can just go here or here back. But what I think, at least there will be some pullback before going up because now you have a 12-hour supply and a daily supply rejection, and we are still below it, right? So I think it can, but point being, if you would have seen this, right, uh, you would have gotten this 2 hour move. The second point being, this happened, this supply came, uh, was made on Tuesday. This test was on Wednesday. I think Friday was the news, Canada news, CAD news, Red Folder news. So that's why I try to align my trades with the news because then the probability increases considerably. The next trade I want to talk about is USD JPY. This is not the trade I want to talk in terms of, oh, I took this trade or something. This is the trade I also want to talk about because I want to say I didn't take it. And if you are a scalper, that's different. For me, I didn't take it, and I will tell you why. If you look at my previous video, this is exactly what I said I preferred, where I didn't want the next candle to just come here. I wanted the next candle to stay below this, and ideally, I said it should be a doji. Now you have two candles here below this, right? So, and those both of them are doji. Then look at this down move. So you're with the trend also. What really happened was I was calculating. For me, if it went down, uh, I was targeting, okay, somewhere in this zone or somewhere in this zone. But the moment I do that with my stop loss, let's say here, I'm getting 1.6. So the risk to reward is in there. So for two, it needs to come here. And I wasn't sure about that. So I thought like I need a better risk to reward. So what my target was is somewhere here. And so to get 2 RR, I want the price to come here, right? And it really just nicked it. I didn't get a fill. So I think at that time my entry was somewhere here, 2.25. Because I was like, okay, let's grab more. There's this confluence here with this uh, support. So maybe we should act like we should be, this area should act like resistance, followed by this supply, followed by 8 hour supply here. So if price comes here and ideally goes to this area, then what you're basically seeing is a very easy 2 RR, right? Because now the probability of at least coming here is very high. So I didn't get my risk to reward here, so that's why I didn't take it. But I have my order placed. I'm thinking something like this or this, and just 2 RR. I'm not targeting more than that. I still feel it would not be easy for USD JPY to just break this. I think it would not be that easy, and I will explain that in the next video. But one of the important point is what you are trading is something firstly with the trend. Secondly, you should always know which are the strongest and weakest pair. Like for GBP CHF, I said odd and NZD has been weakest pair generally before that week. So maybe last to last week. Just opposite that, JPY is the strongest pair. It has been acting very strong. So if you get a trade in JPY, where you are favoring JPY bullish, where in this case USD JPY, you are favoring JPY bullish, and so USD JPY bearish, that will almost every time work. You will get your 2 RR. And that's why you have to care a lot. You have to watch out for these, where trend is clear, where you know the strength of the currency. The next two trades I want to talk about is something where I was definitely wrong. What I did was I took this. Uh, I took this zone and was like, okay, it has come here. Let me target 2RR. When it came here down there, that was a big move for me. So I was like, okay, I will put the stop loss to break even. And thank God I did because we just broke it up. Why I want to bring this up, this particular ticker, is not because how I could have, like, oh, it was a successful trade or something. It's just because, firstly, learning why I was so wrong. And I did mention it in the video that I wouldn't, and that was the plan. I didn't want to hold for very long because look at this. The trend is clearly up. Uh, Look at this, right? So I thought like whatever 2RR I get, I'll just get out. I will not wait for 3RR on this one because there's no point playing against the trend. So I was targeting maybe come here somewhere, give me my 2RR. What I should have also thought about is why this supply is good. Is the supply good or bad? And when I looked back at it, there were many signs why maybe this trade would have worked, but many signs why this was a low probability trade. And I wanted to explain that in this video. So one is you have these high wicks here, right? Like this one in particular and almost equal here on daily, right? So whenever there's high wicks, it can, especially in favor of the trend, it can attract. So like what I mean is the trend is up, so when it will come up, this high wick will act as liquidity and attract the price action. The second thing is look at the supply. This is not like a lonely supply. So this supply must have come from inner time frame or some higher time frame from here, let's say. And this must have come from here, let's say. So you basically have a level on top of level on top of level where you don't have a clean supply. So I do think if let's say this before coming down, this had made a higher high and came down, and you had a supply here somewhere that's a much cleaner supply, right? So that's what I wanted to share why this was a bad trade. Oh, and one more thing. Again, what were the weakest currencies last to last week? Odd and NZD. So if odd and NZD are the weakest, and I'm saying GBP odd should go down from here. So basically, I'm just going against that word, right? So can it? Sure. But should you take this trade? No. So this is what I wanted to point out that one, focus on trend. Second, focus on quality of supply. Third, or I should put the second one as the strength and like which currencies are acting strong and weak. You should know uh, in your mind so that you stick to those because if those currencies and their charts work with technicals, like you find some technical levels also, that's like amazing. That's a great combination. And one great example itself is an NZD CHF or NZD CHF because as I said, NZD or were acting weak and I was bullish on CHF. So every name like if even if you see GBP CHF, Euro CHF, any name, USD CHF, every name will go down, right? Because you have bullish CHF. But the names where the currencies have been acting weak will definitely go down. The second benefit of sticking to that is this. Let's say you're saying CHF currency should act strong, and let's say you're wrong, but you're playing it with NZD and odd because they have been acting weak. So what may happen is move down here and then go up. But other currencies will do something like this, right? So when you know which currencies are acting weak or strong, very strong, then it really helps. And in the next video where we will plan the next week, I will bring it up, like which currencies are have been acting very strong or very weak, so that we focus mainly on those. and that will help with your trading. So that's it for today. I hope we learned together again in the future. I hope you guys learned something with this session. I'll continue doing this back testing because I always think it really helps. It definitely helps me to understand my system better, to be more confident during the week. And it's like sharpening the knife, right? And you shouldn't, like, you have to do it every few weeks. And this way I can share my knowledge on my trades, on the trades I see last week, on the plans, etc., etc. So yeah, I hope you guys learned something. We'll continue making those videos. Please like, share, subscribe, comment. I'm always open to feedback. If you enjoyed this, if you want me to focus on something in particular, if you want me to focus on fundamental analysis also, anything, I'm all ears and I'm here to help. So yeah, I hope you have a good day. Thanks, everyone.